The iPhone 4 was announced by Steve Jobs on June 7, 2010 for the last time that he would announce an iPhone, and was released in black with a white version coming later on June 24, 2010 for $199, 16 GB storage, and for $299, 32 GB storage, both of course for a 2-year contract. The iPhone 4 launched with iOS 4.0. The iPhone 4 is the debut of many features and upgrades, with the most notable being the front-facing camera, which launched alongside FaceTime, the Retina display, which means that you cannot see pixels unlike on prior displays, the upgraded 5-megapixel rear camera that shoots up to 720p video rather than a 3-megapixel camera that shoots up to 48p video, like on the previous iPhone 3GS, and its most notable upgrade being its design, which has been redone with flat stainless steel sides and a glass back rather than curved plastic housing like on the 3GS. However, as the launch event for it was not the first time the iPhone 4 had been seen, as in April 2010, 2 months before its release, Apple employee Gray Powell had a prototype iPhone 4 with him when he went to a bar on his birthday and I guess must have had a little too much to drink and left his prototype behind. Another man then picked up the prototype, failed to find its owner, and took the prototype home without his knowing of it being a prototype because it was disguised in an iPhone 3GS-like case. The next morning, the man realized 2 strange things about the prototype iPhone 4. The first being that it stopped powering on because Apple remotely disabled it, and second being that it had a hole by the earpiece speaker, like as you can tell right here, which no normal iPhone had at the time. After some fiddling, the man was able to remove the iPhone's disguising case and discover that it was probably the next iPhone. He reported to Apple that he found a prototype iPhone, but Apple did not believe him and would not let him return it. So he instead sold it to gadget website Gizmodo for $5,000, who on April 19, 2010 made an entire article and video showcasing the phone and tearing it down. Apple's legal department quickly requested that Gizmodo give Apple the prototype iPhone 4 back, and so they did. However, on April 23, 2010, Jason Chen, the editor responsible for showcasing the prototype, was investigated by the React Task Force, the California TTAP program, for potential violation of laws, so he was never charged. 12 years later, on April 24th, 2022, it is believed by many, including myself, that Google purposely copied their iPhone 4 prototype leak when they left a prototype Pixel Watch in a restaurant to generate hype for the Pixel Watch, which would release 6 months later. Gee, that worked well! Not long after the iPhone 4 released, some users began experiencing reception loss, leading to drop calls when they held their phones like this, which covered the antennas. This issue became known as an antenna gate. Apple attempted to fix these issues with software updates, but after complaints proceeded with the issue, which were stupid to begin with, as people can just hold their phones like this maybe to not cover the antennas. Instead, Apple held a press conference on July 16, 2010 to address the issue and offer iPhone 4 users a free bumper case to fix it. On January 11, 2011, Verizon announced during a media event that there would be a CDMA iPhone 4, so that way it would work on Verizon, as previous iPhones sold in the United States were sold exclusively via AT&T and, of course, through the Apple Store, but most people bought their phones through carriers back then. Well, they still do now. The CDMA iPhone 4 went on sale on February 10, 2011 with iOS 4.2.6, but some reviewers received their CDMA iPhone 4s on the exclusive iOS 4.2.5, which is the rarest version of iOS to ever run on an iPhone that's not prototype software. The first iPhone to include a SIM card tray, which even the GSM iPhone 4 has, as you can tell right here, and it was exclusively sold in the United States, making a CDMA iPhone 4 heavily desired by Apple collectors outside of the US. On June 24, 2010, Apple stated that the white iPhone 4 is proving to be more challenging to manufacture than expected and initially postponed the release date to the second half of July 2010. Whilst the reasoning for it is still unknown today, people speculated the delay for the white iPhone 4 was because the phone's cameras were adversely affected by light leaking in due to the semi-translucent glass to the white iPhone 4's glass. This is not semi-translucent, by the way, hence making the rumor BS. Or that Apple was unable to get the white color on the faceplate to match the home button, which you can kind of tell still, if you look very closely, like it's not too exact, but it's also barely different. Nonetheless, the white iPhone 4 kept getting delayed until April 27, 2011, when Apple announced that the white iPhone 4 released the following day, which it did. On October 4th, 2011, Apple discontinued 16GB and 32GB iPhone 4 and replaced it with an 8GB model that costs $99 alongside the announcement of the iPhone 4S. On October 14th, 2011, the iPhone 4 was made available on Sprint, of course, with CDMA variant, which is what this iPhone 4 is. On September 10th, 2013, Apple discontinued the iPhone 4. In September 2014, Apple discontinued iOS support for the iPhone 4, leaving them on iOS 7.1.2. However, what if you want an iPhone 4 today? How much does it cost, and can you do anything with one? Well, the iPhone 4 usually retails for $20 to $30 on eBay. The GSM 2010 iPhone 4, like this one, can be tempered downgraded to iOS 4.0.2, 4.1, 4.3, 4.3.1, 4.3.3, 4.3.5, 5.0.1 from 5.1.1 to 6.1.3. It can be untempered downgrade to iOS 4.3.3, 4.3.5, though I've never gotten those to work, 5.1.1 as I have here, and from iOS 6.0 to 7.1.1, which I haven't tested yet, but I assume works. The CDMA iPhone 4 can supposedly be untethered downgrade to iOS 6.1.3, which I've never gotten to work. This one right here has just never been updated. But it can also be tethered downgrade to iOS 5.1.1, which I have done with this unit right here, or to any version of iOS 6, which I haven't done, but I assume works. The GSM 2012 iPhone 4 can only be tethered downgraded to iOS 6.0 through 6.1.3, however. Did you have an iPhone 4 back in the day? If so, what did you think about it? Please comment that down below. As always, thanks for watching this video. I'm the iTunes Fanboy, and peace out.